child asks, "Why is there a house here?" The father answers, "Because the carpenter built it." The child is satisfied, but the question can be asked again. Why did the carpenter build it this way, with these dimensions, this shape, these materials? Because he was following a blueprint, because he wanted shelter from the rain, because the people who hired him asked for a house, not a barn. Each answer is correct. Each answer is a different kind of reason. Aristotle, the most systematic mind of antiquity, looked at this phenomenon and concluded that the question why has 4 distinct meanings. We collapse them into one, but they are not the same. To fully understand anything, you must answer all 4. He called them the 4 causes. The first is the material cause. This is the stuff out of which something is made. The bricks and mortar of the house, the bronze of the statue, the flesh and bone of the living creature. The material cause answers the question, what is it made of? The second is the formal cause. This is the pattern, the structure, the essence, the blueprint of the house, the shape of the statue, the soul of the living creature, not a ghost in the machine, but the principle of organization that makes flesh and bone into a living body. The formal cause answers the question, what is it? The third is the efficient cause. This is the agent that brings the thing into being. The carpenter who builds the house, the sculptor who casts the statue, the parent who begets the child. The efficient cause answers the question, what made it? The fourth is the final cause. This is the purpose, the end, the telos, shelter from the weather, beauty to be admired, a life to be lived. The final cause answers the question, what is it for? Now, here is what Aristotle noticed about the intellectual history of his time. His predecessors had focused almost exclusively on the material cause. Thales had said the stuff was water, and Anaximenes said it is air. Heraclitus said it is fire. Empedocles said it is earth, air, fire, and water mixed. They were all looking for the same thing, the fundamental substance, the primitive stuff, the building block of reality. They were not wrong, they were simply incomplete. The material cause tells you what a thing is made of. It does not tell you what it is, what made it, or what it is for. A pile of bricks is materially identical to a house, considered as a collection of objects, but the pile is not a house. The difference is not in the matter, the difference is in the form. A formal cause tells you what a thing is. It distinguishes the house from the pile, the statue from the lump, the living body from the corpse, but it does not tell you how the form got there or why. Now, the efficient cause tells you how the form was imposed on the matter. The carpenter shaped the bricks into a house. The sculptor shaped the bronze into a statue. The parent shaped the biological material into a child, but it does not tell you why. The final cause tells you why. So, the house is for dwelling. The statue is for honoring. And the child is for flourishing. To understand anything completely, you need all 4. Now consider what happens when you drop one of the causes. Drop the material cause, and you have idealism, forms floating free of any substrate, structures with no stuff. You can describe the blueprint of the house, but you cannot build it. Drop the formal cause, and you have materialism, stuff with no structure, matter with no meaning. You can describe the bricks, but you cannot distinguish the house from the pile. Drop the efficient cause, and you have deism, a world that exists but never came into being. Forms that are present but never were imposed. You can describe what things are and what they are for, but you cannot explain how they got that way. Drop the final cause and you have modern science. Efficient causes without purposes, mechanisms without meanings. You can describe how the house was built, but you cannot say why. Modern science has done exactly this. It has declared the final cause irrelevant, unscientific, unmeasurable. It has reduced the four causes to two, material and efficient. It asks what things are made of and how they were assembled. It refuses to ask what they are for. That is not objectivity. This is amputation. Aristotle believed that the four causes are not separate. They are nested, interlocking, mutually dependent. Now consider a human being. The material cause is the flesh and bone, the blood and sinew, the physical substance of the body. The formal cause is the soul, not a separate substance inhabiting the body, but the principle of organization that makes flesh and bone into a living, sensing, thinking organism. The efficient cause is the parent who generated the body in the broader chain of causes that includes nutrition, education, culture, history. The final cause is flourishing, the life well lived, the actualization of potential, the realization of what it means to be human. Now ask, can you understand a human being without the final cause? You can measure the body, analyze the chemistry, map the brain. You can describe how the organism functions, but you cannot say what it is for, and you cannot say what it is for. If you cannot say what it is for, you cannot say whether it is functioning well or poorly. You cannot distinguish health from disease, virtue from vice, wisdom from folly. You cannot even define what a human being is, because the definition includes the end toward which it is directed. Aristotle says, "The good is that at which all things aim." The good is not a subjective preference. It is not a cultural convention. It is not a matter of opinion. It is the telos, the built-in target, the inherent purpose, the natural end. A good knife is one that cuts well. A good eye is one that sees clearly. A good human being is one that reasons well, acts justly, lives virtuously. The final cause is not an optional addition to the description. It is the completion of the description. Without it, you have only parts. With it, you have a whole. Now, we must ask, does the universe itself have a final cause? Aristotle thought so. The unmoved mover, which we encountered in the previous video, is not only the first efficient cause, it is also the ultimate final cause. It is the end toward which all motion strives, the perfection that all things imitate, the beloved that all things desire. The stone falls because it wants to be at rest, and the unmoved mover is perfect rest. The fire rises because it wants to be near the celestial spheres, and the unmoved mover is perfect actuality. The human being thinks because it wants to know, and the unmoved mover is perfect knowledge. Everything in its own way is trying to be like God. Now, this is not anthropomorphism. It is not projection. It is the logical consequence of taking final causes seriously. If everything has a telos, and if the telos of each thing is the actualization of its potential, and if the unmoved mover is pure actuality with no unrealized potential, then the unmoved mover is the universal telos. All things aim at the one, not because the one commands them, not because the one intervenes, not because the one is a person who desires to be loved, simply because the one is what they are not yet and what they are striving to become. Now consider the relationship between the four causes and the logos. Heraclitus said the universe is a sentence. The formal cause of a sentence is its grammar, the structure that makes a sequence of words meaningful. The efficient cause is the speaker who utters it. The final cause is the communication of meaning, the transfer of thought from one mind to another. Aristotle said the universe is a chain of motion anchored by an unmoved mover. The formal cause of the chain is the principle of causation itself, the regularity that links effects to causes. The efficient cause is the unmoved mover, the first agent. The final cause is the perfection of the unmoved mover, which all things imitate. These are not competing accounts, they are complementary. One emphasizes the structure of reality, the other emphasizes the source of reality. One speaks of meaning, the other speaks of motion. One names the logos, the other names the unmoved mover. But both require a final cause. Both require a telos. Both require that the universe be directed toward something. Heraclitus does not name the telos. He says the logos is common, eternal, and uncreated, but he does not say what it is for. Aristotle names the telos, the unmoved mover, but he does not say that the unmoved mover is the logos. They leave the connection hanging like a rope waiting to be pulled. And so here's what you've just learned. You've learned that the question why has four distinct meanings. The material cause answers what is it made of. The formal cause answers what is it. The efficient cause answers what made it. And the final cause answers what is it for. You've learned that modern science has amputated the final cause, reducing the four to two. This is not progress, it is impoverishment. The complete account of anything requires all four. You've learned that the final cause is not an optional addition, but the completion of the description. Without it, you have parts, but not wholes, mechanisms, but not meanings, facts, but not purposes. And you have learned that the universe itself requires a final cause. The unmoved mover is not only the first mover, but the ultimate end, the perfection that all things imitate, the beloved that all things desire, the telos toward which all motion tends. The sentence has a grammar, the grammar has a speaker, the speaker has a purpose. The question is not whether the universe is going somewhere. The question is where and to whom. Thank you.